Hey guys, welcome to JazzedTutorials. This week's tutorial, I'm going to continue with the theme of Christmas and winter. So we're going to make a snow globe text effect. Now, it is a lot involved, so again, I went ahead and did the tutorial for you guys. I'm going to show you layer by layer and step by step and all the stuff you need for it. Okay, so I've created a background like such. I just found a random wooden texture on google.com and placed it in this way. And I kind of Gaussian blurred part of it out so it looks like a table, but you don't have to do that. You can just make it as is or whatever. And then there's also, I use like a grayish background to it to give it that like I'm on a table kind of look. So then I'm going to grab my text tool, and the text we'll be using is Cooper STD. If you don't have that, you should, because it is automatically in Photoshop / your computer. Most of them have it, but if not, you can go into dafont.com and I'm sure they'll have it there or something close to it. So go ahead and type your text. Let me find my text layer. I have so many layers here, guys. I'm so sorry. Alright, so you'll see that my text has already got the effect on top of it, but I will show you what that is. So go ahead over here to your lovely layer styles. We're going to apply a million different things. We're going to first of all add a drop shadow. I'm using multiply for the blend mode because that's going to really work well. And I use black for the color because I like black and it looks good. So go ahead and use black, and then you drop your opacity down to 47%. And set your angle to 120 and use global light should be automatically be selected if it's not already, but mine was. Alright, and then yep. Okay, and then 306 for your distance spread in size. Sorry for that long pause, I was letting my cat out. Alright, and then we're going to add an inner shadow. And again, I went with black, but I set the opacity down to 23%. The blend mode, again, is multiply. And then angle and all that's the same. So distance is 4, and choke is 0, and size is 4. Alright, so you got that. Okay, now we're going to go to bevel and emboss. I chose the style for inner bevel. That's automatically selected usually. But your technique is going to be chisel hard this time, not soften. So go ahead and change your depth now to 481%. And your size should be 18, soften is at 9. Your direction should automatically be up, but if not, change it. Alright, your shading down here. Negative 60 degrees, but before you type that in, uncheck use global light or it will change it to something else. So, yep, uncheck use global light, negative 60 degrees, and then 65 degrees for the one below it. Alright, and your gloss contour should be that one selected as you'll see here. If it's not already, but I'm sure it won't be, so select that one. And then highlight mode is screen, and it's white with 100% opacity. Shadow modes, multiply black with a 12% opacity. Alright, and then we're going to go do satin. Just check off satin, and we'll come back to that in a second, because you need to have the gradient overlay first. I'm not sure why, but you kind of do. It just works out better that way. So I'm using a blend mode of multiply with an opacity of 84%, and I've chosen a black transparent, but I've moved the white up here to almost to the edge so you don't have too much black transparency, but you have enough. So you want to see that. And then just click, and then you're good. Okay, now we go back to satin, and now we can add our other effects. We're going to use a blend mode of overlay with a white color, and the opacity is at 50%. Your angle is at 135 degrees, 11 for the distance, and size is 13. And then you're going to select this contour here. It's right here. It's the third one in. That should automatically be in your section selector. If not, you might have to load it. I don't know. And then anti-allies should be checked off as well. Okay, once you have that, click OK, and you should see a transparency of such. Now, if in the event you don't see the transparency, here's where your issue might be. Your fill might be at 100% in that event, drop it down to 0, and then you'll see your transparency. Alright, now you'll notice here that the background is showing of the table, and that's fine. We're going to fix that shortly. So now we're going to go and make a new layer below your text layer, and this one's going to be a shadow to your text, so it looks like it's sitting on a table, and not just in midair, because that looks really stupid. So let's go find my lovely layer that I've made with that. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Alright, now I have multiple layers with this because I went ahead and added a whole crap load of like a light, a dark, and a shadow and whatnot. But go ahead and just add one particular shadow. Now to do this, I used the rectangle tool. I made a rectangle, and I'll show you exactly how I did it so you know what you're doing. I made a rectangle of small size that suit my whole photo, and I used black, obviously, for the color, not white. So go ahead and make it black. And then you're going to go up to your filter, and you're going to add a Gaussian blur to that. So I'm going to blur, Gaussian blur. And you want to, it's going to ask you to rasterize it. Go right ahead and do rasterizing. And you're going to want to blur it just enough so it looks like it's a shadow effect. So I think I went ahead and I used around 15 to 20, depending on the size, and I placed it directly under the text. And then I duplicated that layer. I made some lights and a couple dark, just so it kind of contrasted into the photo. And you should see that type of effect. Okay, now, you're probably wondering, well, where's the snow coming in? We're getting there. That's the next step. Now we're going to have to add our snow. So to do so, I had a snow texture in my computer already that I used, but you're free to use whatever one you want. Let me see if it's still loaded in here. I'm not sure. It's on my, let's see. It is not. Okay, well, I can't exactly show you the exact one, but go ahead to google.com and type in snow texture and find a snow texture that you like. Because not all snow globes are going to be the same, so I figure I'm not going to provide you with a texture for that because every snow globe is different, and I want to showcase that with yours as well. So find the snow texture you like, and you can use that. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut out like parts of it, and you're going to go ahead and paste it onto here. Let's see if I can find this now, because I have so many goddamn layers. Alright. Yes. Okay, so here's my snow layer. Oops, that's the selection. Yeah. Okay, here's my snow area. So, yeah, that's the texture that I've used. Whoops. You'll see in the back of it, that's what I've used. And I cut it out with the pen tool, but you can also use other ones as well. You can use the magic cutout, whatever. Whatever works best for you. Alright, let's see if I can. Okay, so once you have that cut out, you're going to go ahead and click on your snow texture, or text rather, and you're going to hold down your lovely Alt key. So go, or Command rather. Command click on that so you have this selected, and then with your snow layer selected, you're going to go and click on this tool here, Add Layer Mask. And that's then going to cut out the parts of the lovely snow texture you want to use. Now, you're free to move them however you want. You can have like humps, you can have lifts, you can do whatever you like because a snow globe is always going to be different. I've never met a snow globe that looks the same, just letting you know. So, these should have an effect similar to what I have shown here. I've also added a small Gaussian blur to that layer, but you don't have to if you like it the way it looks. I also went over here to my lovely dodge tool. That's right here, dodge and burn. And I just used that a bit on here just to give it that lovely contrasty effect on the bottom part. But again, that's totally optional. If you like it the way it is, that's fine. But more times than one, it won't look as good unless you do that. So, Okay, now we're going to add the actual snow to this. So here we go. I went ahead over here to my lovely paint brushes, and I just take, oops, well, you can't see it now because my brush isn't selected. I just took some lovely brushes, and as you'll see here, they're just scattered brushes of various sizes. And I just did that on top of in a new layer above everything. And I just scattered them throughout the entire thing. And then I went ahead back to my text layer and I clicked on it with the command key like we just did before. And I put them inside of the snow globe. And I will make those visible so you can see them. There we have it. That's what they look like. And that's basically what I've done. Now, that's the basics of this tutorial. I'm not going to get too much further in with it. You'll notice on my layers section, I have a whole crap load of other layers. But that's just because I wanted to go and experiment with Photoshop and see what else I could add to it. I could show you guys that if you want, but it's completely optional. It's nothing that you need to do. This is basically how it's going to look for you. I just added some trees, some Christmas lights, and whatnot. If you want to add some cool Christmas lights to your photo, I will show you how to do that. The Christmas trees, though, I just took some ones and just spewed them in there, but you really don't have to. The sparkling and the lights are really cool. You'll see that. And again, I just took a really soft round brush, a very small, soft round white brush, and I just made some dots all over the place. I did two separate layers because, as you can see, I have two separate colors. I have red and blue. So I did red on one layer and blue on the other. And what you'll do, once you make your dots, basically what you'll do is go down here to your lovely layer styles, and you'll add a drop shadow with these settings. You'll add an inner shadow with those settings. Um, and then the outer glow is what really gives it that lovely color. So pick a color you want to use. You could do green, you could do red and green, whatever looks good to you. And just add these settings here as shown. And then your inner glow, you'll have black for your color just to offset it. And then you'll add a bevel and emboss with the same settings usually as we've done before, except our technique is smooth. Yeah, so there's that. And then you'll add a color overlay to offset the other colors, and I used a light blue, but if you're using a red, you'll use a light red or a light pink, and so forth. That's kind of how I did that. So that's basically that tutorial. It doesn't get any much more simpler than this. As you'll see in my final outcome, I did add some trees and other stuff to it, but that's all optional stuff that you could really do if you want, but it's not really needed. It just gives it that extra woohoo. So, yep, that's the basics of this tutorial. I know it's a little bit long and probably a little advanced for some of you, but if you're an advanced person like me, then maybe you'll understand it. So, yay! How pretty was that? So Christmassy and so lovely. So thanks for watching, guys, and happy holidays from me to you.